Welcome along to episode 809 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, some Christmas shopping gift ideas as we hear from the team at Craft Courses. Also on the way, Kimberly Wyatt, former Pussycat Doll, letting us know all about the second-hand goodies that are available this Christmas. And Laurence Llewelyn-Bowen is along as we have a little natter about the style around our home for the new year and having a warm it with a heat pump. We want to be cozy. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now we're heading towards a new year, hurtling along at a fairly fast rate. But what do we want from 2025? A warm, cosy home is one of those things. I know one of three people who are going to be able to help with that. Laurence Llewelyn-Bowen joins me now. Hello, sir.
Isn't it funny that we're talking about warm and cozy? Because I think it's the sort of terminology that people have not used for a very long time. I think for years we've been bullied into this idea of wanting it kind of hipster or on trend or international or but suddenly people are understanding that the home is somewhere that is so incredibly important. It should be somewhere that's so nurturing, so nourishing. And terms like warm and cozy are they're so fabulously kind. They're so fabulously gentle in the way that they come across.
Yeah, because so many bits of home furnishing seem to have had harsh lines and have been very utilitarian of late. Now, when we see you and your
I
amazing...
love the way you say
design-
harsh lines.
It's...
Harsh furniture. Furniture that kind of tells you off in the morning.
It
Look
does
at
feel
you
that
with
way
your
sometimes.
hangover, for goodness sake. And then it deliberately trips you up and grazes your... No, listen, I think it's a big thing. I mean, and actually, there's this obsession with the modern space that we've had, the open plan, light-filled environment, has actually not been a good thing on many levels. I think psychologically, I don't think it's a good thing. But we're now beginning to understand that it's actually been an incredibly bad thing environmentally, that having areas that are very difficult to heat, very difficult to control, having spaces that cannot be regulated, are doing an enormous amount of damage. And I think it's very interesting that by people now saying 66% of the population saying that they want to go warm and cozy, what they're also saying is they want somewhere that actually can be warm, physically warm. They want somewhere that can be cozy physically. And this is now keying right into what the government are wanting to do, which is to get everyone to start understanding that there are alternatives, and that specifically the idea of using a heat pump is something that, why not? It's something that you can explore. It's something that can make an enormous impact, not just on the environment in a very positive way, but also on your heating bills. And so, this is the backing up the survey is this idea that you can find out as much information as you need from gov.uk/heat pump. But actually, I think it's a wonderful way of getting people to understand that they can have the space that they need, the space that they want, but also get the kind of government support with the boiler upgrades scheme, the BUS. The government can give you up to £7,500 for actually sorting out your heating. And I think this is something that we really need to start considering.
Absolutely. And whilst we can change the look and pop some throws in place, maybe a few
I
scatter
love the way
cushions
you
as
say
well.
pop some throws in. I mean, it's like you're after my job.
No one could
You make
compete
it
with
sound
you.
so easy. Do you know how difficult it is to get a throw right, Jason? I mean,
I can't even fold one.
30 years of experience have gone into throw wrangling for me. I don't really see you as a kind of a throwy person, though. Have you got?
I
many
do
throws
like
at
a
home?
good cushion.
You see, I'm terrible. There I am profiling you because I thought you'd like things to be quite simple, but actually you're quite fancy.
I'd a bit of mixture of both. I mean, I like to have the cozy
You like a
room
fancy
and
mixture.
yeah, well, absolutely, don't we all? But having the ability to be able to have a space that you work in and a space to relax in, I think you need to compartmentalize the home maybe a little bit more, just to.
You do. But I think one of the things as well is that with more people working from home, I think this is one of the important things is that suddenly, you're not off during the day, so you're actually having to run things like the heating all day. You're beginning to realize what an impact this has. I mean, in many ways, psychologically, I think it is actually much better to work within your community than it is to be commuting into a big city. I think that was a crazy idea that someone came up with in the 1920s. Actually, I think it was the Bauhaus movement. But I think the idea of actually living and working in the same environment is actually how it always was before, and actually is a very positive experience. But it does mean that you are relying on your own resources, and you're relying on your own energy resources as well, which makes it even more important to think about getting something like a heat pump to help shoulder the burden. So is that your home office I can see behind you now?
No. I'm in the work office. So
You are in the work office.
It's not.
I was
not
about
my
to
space.
question your blind choice, because I think that's quite an aggressive blue.
It is that
Quite
let's not
shouty.
even go there. Yeah, we don't want shouty
Yeah.
blue. But I mean, chilled colours. I mean, bold stripes are a thing as well. And I do note
Well,
your jacket is tying in with the dopamine fix you're looking for there.
Look, I'm boldly striped myself. Yeah, no, it's funny. I think there's a lot of what used to be called traditional decorating going on again. So it's using things like pattern, it's using colours, it's using colour combinations. It's also looking at things like curtains, as you say, it's things like throws and it's rugs. But there's been a sudden interest in bold stripes, which I love. I mean, there's nothing I like more than waking up in what's looking like a circus tent. Having a sort of a big pa on your every time you wake up in the morning is marvellous. But bold stripes are a good thing. That was the whole thing. I'm wearing bold stripes to make myself look taller and thinner. And actually wearing bold stripes in a room, putting bold stripes in a room will make that room the ceiling will look much higher, the whole place will look much more elegant. So why on earth not? I think apparently, I mean, it's not something I actually follow, but apparently there's a big thing about broad stripes in Emily in Paris. The fashionistas are getting very excited about broad stripes. And hey, let's follow them, shall we?
Well, though you're usually ahead of the trends, to be fair. So you've probably been having that jacket knocking around for a good 6 months.
Thing is, Jason, I mean, never, ever, ever follow somebody else's trend. Always make your own. I think and this is one of the big lessons we're actually beginning to learn, because your home is the only little corner of your world which you can completely control. Everybody else is going to have a bit of an opinion on the tie you wear. Although I really love the fact you're wearing a tie. The car you drive, the shopping you've got in your shopping trolley. But your home will always be a very kind of personal and very emphatically personality-driven space. So enjoy the fact that you can have the trend that you always wanted, and for you, it's a little bit fancy.
But around all of that, though, you might want to put in the likes of your sad lamp to sort of brighten this place when you need that vitamin D. Or it could well be that you're also thinking, hang on, yeah, that heat pump is going to work for me, because you take away part of the cost, part of the worry, and you're getting an environmentally friendly source of heat.
Well, exactly, and also, I mean, because they circulate air. I mean, this is another thing that I think people, need to be mindful of, particularly if they're working from home, is the home environment needs to be something that is comfortable, and actually being in a space that has no airflow, being in a space that has effectively, you're just imprisoned in your own odor, is a very bad thing. Heat pump is a great way of actually keeping the air circulating, but it's things like plants. I mean, plants are making a massive comeback. I can remember the big heyday of those enormous plants in the 80s, which always felt very kind of Golden Girls. But actually, having plants in an environment is there's something rather lovely and nurturing about it. But they do an incredibly good job at processing the air. I always have this big thing at Christmas, which is I like to have as many spring bulbs around as possible. Really, to give you that sense of, okay, it's Christmas, yay, thank you, Noddy Holder, we've got the point. But actually, what this is really about is being on the cusp of a new year, and the fact that we've now got halfway through the winter. We've got the worst bit to come, but on the other side of that, we will have spring, and having the spring bulbs is a wonderful way of kind of bringing the future into your home, but also bringing the outside in as well.
And Twixmas gives us the chance to start thinking about these things. I hate the word myself.
What a term! Great. It's like a onesie, isn't it? Twixmas. And I'm going to spend a Twixmas in my onesie.
Well, it only makes sense to me is that they're the ones that are left in the box of celebrations, because someone's even eaten all the bounties before they got to the Twix.
I completely, that's the thing, is that, they're the ones that the least popular. But no, I mean, I think one of the things that we need to be get back on, Christmas, the Christmas and New Year period always used to be quite reflective for people. It used to be a time where you sort of thought about things. New Year particularly, it's not just about getting absolutely bladdered and passing out. It's actually thinking about what went good and what went bad in the year that's just passed, and actually being optimistic and constructive and creative about the year that's coming. And I think that actually making differences at home is a really, really good way of starting the new year. And the fact that the government will give you £7,500 to help explore the opportunity for a heat pump, I think is an extraordinarily good way of spending your January.
And these things often warm.
Although, of course, you'll be in Antigua as usual.
I mean, me and holidays. I just getting chance. I'm too busy. That's my excuse.
Oh,
I'm not too tired. I need a bit of holiday.
You need to make time for yourself, Jason. You really do.
I will take on board.
I worry about you. I worry about you.
Give us the details where we can find out about this government-backed scheme to get a heat pump in our homes.
gov.uk/heat pump. Although I always think /is a bit aggressive. You know, forward slash is a bit aggressive when you say gov.uk/heat pump. So I like to say gov.uk/heat pump.
And you can sit there.
That's not right.
No, it says it's a little wrong still. However, whatever you're doing,
I've started a nationwide debate about whether it should be slash or stroke.
It could be angled stripe, couldn't it?
Oh my God, Jason, you're an absolute design genius. It is a diagonal stripe. You're absolutely right. I'm going to call it that forever now.
Okay, that's the thing. Laurence Llewelyn-Bowen, have a brilliant Christmas. Thank you for joining us and enjoy your new heat pump.
Thank you, Jason.
Now, when it comes to it, Christmas is on the way, and a second-hand Christmas could be good for not only our gifting, but also our pockets too. Kimberly Wyatt is here to give us a bit of advice when it comes down to getting some fashion tips as we head through the Christmas period. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So good to have you along. And what have you asked Father Christmas for this year?
Oh gosh, I haven't even gotten to my list because I'm so obsessed with my 3 kids list and making sure I create magic for them. So I don't know. I'll have to give it a think.
Well, we'll see. Let me know, and we'll see if we can sort something out in a bit. Meanwhile, though, with 69% worried about the affordability of Christmas, with less than 10 days to go, you're actually looking at 23.8 million adults reporting selling items online. So there's lots of people who've got goods which are out there which could save you a packet.
That's right. This is why I'm working with Virgin Media, O2 Business, and Depop, as they have released all this brilliant research that shows what a surge is happening in the lead up to Christmas of people looking for ways to make money as well as to create that circular economy. So being a much more mindful consumer. And it's great to see that with these secondhand shopping apps, you can on average make an extra £150 per month, equaling almost £2,000 a year while supporting that circular economy. And I've been super passionate about sustainability for a very long time. So to think that we're finally getting to this point where we can make sustainability cool and create those healthy habits has been brilliant. So for me, I love a secondhand shop on the apps. If I'm going to an event or a red carpet and I know I'm going to wear an outfit just once, I'd like to do rentals. I'm very much into upcycling clothes. If I've got a bit of feather trim, I can turn that into a costume by snipping it off and creating it into a glove. And when I go to do my own shopping, I look for items that I'm going to wear at least 30 times. So it's just taking that responsibility to make those positive changes, really.
Yeah, and mixing it up. And that's the thing, that if you're buying secondhand, it allows you to do that. As you said, upcycling clothes is a fantastic way of doing it. And electronics at 27% and books and media at 33% are popular, but 68% of people are looking at clothes shopping online. And it sort of harks back a bit to the days of having the old catalogues where people used to buy clothes from. And there's much less of that these days, but there's much more of this green revolution when it comes to wearing something which is pre-loved.
Oh, you're bringing back memories. I remember those catalogs, those big, thick catalogs that you could sift through in the lead up to Christmas to find all those things that you want. But yeah, the times have changed and we've got to roll with them. And luckily, we've come to a place where we can find a way to be much more mindful and create a community of people that can support one another. And I really want to empower those at-home entrepreneurs. So I've got 6 top tips for selling online if you'd like to hear them.
Go for it.
So number 1 is you need good photos. It's essential. So when you've fallen out of love with that article of clothing, you want to take it and put it in its best light with great lighting and a fantastic background so people can really see it clearly. Number 2 is an accurate description. Because you're not in the shop holding this textile, you want to create a description that gives you that same sort of feel so you know exactly what you're getting. Number 3 is to build your own personal brand with a nice, consistent look. We've seen people like Vivian's Vintage turn their side hustle into amazing clean hustle success. And that's by cutting their search time of their consumers and creating a destination they're really familiar with. Now, my last 3 tips. Number 4 is to use hashtags wisely. This really increases visibility and again helps people get to the place that they are looking for and find those pieces as easily and as accessible as possible. Number 5, be open and honest. If there's sizing issues, flaws, details, include all of that. So you'll be very upfront, very authentic with how you sell, and you'll be so much more respected from the consumer end. And my last top tip is be quick to reply. This is where connectivity really comes into play. You want good mobile and Wi-Fi connectivity. It's essential so that when somebody does want to make that sale or they do have those questions, you can get back to them as quick as possible and make it happen swiftly.
So whether it's your high-speed Virgin broadband at home, which is coming to your house by fibre, or whether you're out and about with your O2 mobile, then make sure you can get on there and say that phone in your hand is the catalogue we talked about. So it is there, and you can sort of flick through things and check them through. And I say that we've probably seen you in some stuff on the catwalk, which has ended up on Depop, haven't we? Have you done that? Have you been selling?
Well, that's part of my personal brand is making sure it almost creates an experience. So a lot of time the things that I'll sell might be this beautiful item that I've had for one big event or red carpet, and I want to make sure it finds a new home that's going to love it. So I use those pictures from those big events so they know exactly what they're getting, and hopefully it makes it feel that much more special.
Well, it's a Kimberly Wyatt original, effectively, because you've already zuzzed it up with a bit of upcycling as well. I should think that helps these things shift, doesn't it?
I'd like to think so.
Well, it works magic every single time. You have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, won't you? Have you got family around for Christmas Day?
We always host Christmas, so we're in the lead up of getting all of our lists for that lovely Christmas spread and presents and all the fixins ready to go. We've got family in from Australia, and the kids are very excited. So yes, the elves are causing mischief. The advent calendar chocolates are flowing. Christmas tree is up, and we're good to go.
All sounds good to me. No doubt you'll be also then surfing the web on Boxing Day, spending any Christmas money you've had on some new goodies from Depop too, and making sure you're making the most of your Virgin O2 collection.
That's right. And if there's anything that I don't exactly like, I can sell it and find what I want.
That's the way. Oh, sneaky. We know what she's doing, really. Well, what Kimberly Wyatt has. I have a brilliant Christmas and a fantastic 2025, and we'll look forward to speaking again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Now, whether you're looking for something for Christmas for that family member who has everything, or that friend who likes to choose their own bits and pieces, why not get them a craft course to tell us more about how we can have a fantastic time setting our friends and family up to get some new skills in the new year? I'm joined now by Craft Courses expert and founder, Kate Dew-Martin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason. Thanks for the amazing introduction there.
Well, thank you for some of the fantastic courses that are out there. I've had a look at your site, and who'd have thought stonemasonry for a weekend was a thing in Wolverhampton?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a thing. And there's a lot more in Wolves as well. I've actually been looking this morning, see what we've got in your neck of the woods. And we've got a lot. We've got two award-winning platinum tutors, Jolene Smith and Amerton Arts, who are both long-standing tutors with us and offer a massive range of stuff, clay sculpture, jewelry. So you guys are in luck.
And all these courses, you're looking at handcrafted things made from local materials very often. And this is how you guys get your B Corps status.
B Corps is really complicated to get, so there were a lot of hoops we had to jump through for that. But yeah, basically, it's anything you do with your hands. So it's craftsmanship basically. So our tutors we've got 6,000 odd on our books, and they're nearly all independent sole traders, men and women, craftspeople, artists, makers, all across the UK, who are willing to pass it on, whether it's by workshops, teaching, whether it's by homemade kits, or sometimes we've actually got now a little shop since the pandemic, but we'll be building on that in 2025. So, gift vouchers are quite flexible because, well, they're very flexible because literally you're given the gift of creativity and the person can choose from literally about 6,500 currently workshops, kits of all unique independent stuff. There's nothing mass market about this.
And I love the fact that obviously this is the gift voucher which you can pass on to anyone anywhere in the UK, because even if you've got an
Yes.
aunt who lives in Aberdeen, you can send her electronic gift voucher and she just goes on and books something local to her.
Absolutely. In fact, we get a lot of people buying from Australia and America for their relatives and friends in the UK because it's such a great gift and it's obviously, easy to send.
I mean, bladesmithing, not one I'd have thought I'd ever be talking about, but candle making, that's probably a bit more standard. And these are sort of next level. You might get a kit for candle making, but it's not going to be the same as actually seeing somebody who does this as an art form as much as anything else.
Absolutely. It's not a demo. All the workshops are very hands-on, practical. You'll be making something and most of the time take something home at the end of the day. With candle making, you say standard, yes, but you bring in the essential oils, bring in the colors, bring in the fantastic little owl molds that you can get, and and molds for all kinds of crazy candles actually. And candle making is really good fun. Bladesmithing, yeah, who'd have thought it? But actually making your own chef knife, making a bush knife for the bushman in your life, or bushwoman. Things like sword making. Reenactment is huge, as you might know.
Mhm.
And we've got a guy in Cardiff making chainmail. We've got blacksmiths all over the UK supplying reenactment actors, and leather workers doing the same. So there's tons of interesting stuff. I would say whatever your interest is, digital photography, organic gardening, any type of painting or drawing, obviously, there'd be something for you.
And that's the other good side as well. I mean, you talked about those courses that may only be available in certain parts of the country for some of the more intriguing specialist ones. You could make a weekend of it. You could actually book yourself into a local hotel or a retreat, and then pop along and do your course, and then head back to your accommodation and enjoy the area overnight. And because I mean, these courses will run, for the day. Some of them, as we've heard, are over a whole weekend. But it's great. It's part of a whole experience, and you can add to take it next level.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, absolutely. A lot of people, we hope, I suppose. Well, we expect everybody to have a fantastic time on the day, but actually, we hope that some people will spark an interest that could last a lifetime. And this could spark a hobby, a passion that could literally sustain someone in many different ways throughout a whole lifetime. We also see a lot of young people coming through, obviously, mainly because relatives will buy them a gift voucher or book them on something to give them a taster of something. But that's a career. That's a career in the making. A lot of young people don't realize there's a world of very interesting, fascinating, meaningful careers out there that make a good living in things like upholstery, blacksmithing, leatherwork, glass art, textile arts. All these things are totally possible. Academics is not for everyone. School is not for everyone. I have three kids, and I know that from a personal level. This is important to just show people there's more to life sometimes than just thinking of an office job or being a cog in a wheel somewhere.
And you said whether it's something that runs in parallel with the rest of your day-to-day life, or whether it becomes that whole world, all because of a Christmas gift that you got. I mean, this sounds absolutely fantastic. And the fact that we've been doing this since 2011, which is the other crazy part. I mean, this is something which is just sort of strength to strength. And I mean, people love experience gifts. It's so much better sometimes to give something which is a tangible, real thing, but it's a real skill. It's not a lump of plastic or the same old set of perfumes and stuff. This is about having a great time, getting involved in some brilliant courses, and meeting some people who are hugely skilled who want to pass on their talents.
Absolutely. I mean, like we were trying to come up with some sound bites yesterday, and we came up with tailor-made experiences, not tat, and things like skills, not socks. I think definitely people just want something a little bit more meaningful. I think it's been quite a difficult few years for all of us with COVID, with one thing and another. The world is quite uncertain. This is something that is actually fundamental to all of us, I would argue. This is part of every single human being. We evolved because humans started using tools and using their hands to make stuff that ultimately led to us living these kind of extremely comfortable lives. So creativity, craftsmanship is in all of us, and it makes you feel really good.
Well, if you want to get that craftsmanship out of one of your friends or family and into the real world, because you never know, they could go on a course and make you a fantastic gift for Christmas next year. That could be a good way of doing it. So there's all sorts of benefits for you for doing this one. Where can people go to to be able to book courses, support artists and traders all around our area and beyond?
So the website is craftcourses.com. You can search by locations. You can look at what's going on around you, search by town name or postcode. Or if you're looking for something very niche, you can search by the category. We've got about 160 different art and craft categories. Or you can phone us up in Wales in our office, or send us an email, and we're always happy to chat and help you find just the thing you're looking for. We've got inspiration on Pinterest and Instagram. And if you just want to keep in touch because you're interested but not sure right now, sign up to our newsletter, 5 minutes of creative inspiration every Saturday morning.
Inspiring as well as making sure that you get your gifting right. Gift expert and founder of Craft Courses, Kate Dummartin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's it all for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Back next week when we will have our end of year quiz, looking back on 2024 with some amazing guests from across the city of Wolverhampton. That's all on the way then. Meanwhile, have a fantastic Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you at the end of the year as we prepare for the start of 2025. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. Goodbye from the milk bar. Goodbye from the milk bar. Goodbye from the milk bar, yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar, yeah.